I don't know. I haven't made up. I have no idea. Did you get one too?
Yeah, we all got one.
Oh.
You literally like.
This is so. I don't know.
Exact rules today.
Oh, yeah. Go on. Gotta be ready.
Will the Senate please come to order? Devotional exercises will be conducted by the Reverend Joan Javier Duval of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier. Welcome.
Good morning, senators, and all those present in the chamber today. As I stand before you, prepared to offer you devotional words, I recognize that I cannot know all that is on your heart and mind this morning. I cannot know what fresh grief might have crept its way into your heart, or what moment of delight might have surprised you on your way to your seat this morning. Each of us carries with us, in the private sanctity of our own souls, that which makes us who we are and conditions us for the work that we show up for today. And in all of our communities, there are those who also face some new circumstance, some new uncertainty, or some new hope that will shape the course of today. In this spirit of honesty and compassion, I share with you the words of Victoria Safford. Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, nor the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of everything is going to be all right, but a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling, about your own soul first of all and its condition, the place of resistance and defiance, the piece of ground from which you see the world both as it is and as it could be, as it will be, the place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but joy in the struggle. And we stand there beckoning and calling, telling people what we are seeing, asking people what they see. As you go about your work today, may you plant yourselves at the gates of hope in this sometimes lonely place of truth-telling. May you recognize when you are being called to join others at the piece of ground where we see the world as it could be. And may you beckon others to join you at these gates of hope for the common good. So may it be. Amen.
Could you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any announcements? Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would move that S65, an act relating to energy efficiency utility jurisdiction, be recommitted to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Senator from Chittenden has moved that S65, an act related to energy efficiency utility jurisdiction, be recommitted to the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy. Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the bill has been recommitted. We now have a Senate resolution. JRS 20, a joint resolution relating to weekend adjournment on April 4th, 2025. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that when the two houses adjourn on Friday, April 4, 2025, it be to meet again no later than Tuesday, April 8, 2025.
Now we've heard the reading of the resolution, and the question is, shall the Senate adopt the resolution? Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we have adopted the resolution. We now have Senate bills for introduction. S 136, an act relating to the governance of the Vermont State Colleges and the University of Vermont and State Agricultural College. Please listen to the first reading.
S 136, an act relating to the governance of the Vermont State Colleges and the University of Vermont and State Agricultural College.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Education. S 137, an act relating to an option to vote none of the candidates on primary and general election ballots, introduced by Senator Perchlik. Listen to the first reading.
S 137, an act relating to an option to vote none of these candidates on primary and general election ballots.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. S 138, an act related to commercial property assessed clean energy projects, introduced by Senator Chittenden. Listen to the first reading.
S 138, an act relating to commercial property assessed clean energy projects.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. I'm not sure why it got referred to that committee. I believe that should have been the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy. That's all right. Now we have House bills for referral. H17, an act related to approval of the adoption of the charter of the town of Morristown. Passed the House on, need the glasses for that one, March 27th, 2025. Please listen to the first reading.
H17, an act relating to approval of the adoption of the charter of the town of Morristown.
Having not met the rules of crossover pursuant to Rule 44A, it will be referred to the Committee on Rules. H 167, an act related to establishing the Vermont Feeding Vermonters grant at the Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets. It passed the House on March 25th, 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 167, an act relating to establishing the Vermonters Feeding Vermonters grant at the Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Agriculture. H 237, an act related to prescribing by doctoral level psychologists, passed the House on March 21st, 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 237, an act relating to prescribing by doctoral level psychologists.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Health and Welfare. H 244, an act related to state contracting standards for advertising, passed the House on March 26th of 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 244, an act relating to state contracting standards for advertising.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. H 397, an act related to miscellaneous amendments to the statutes governing emergency management and flood response. It passed the House on March 19th of 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 397, an act relating to miscellaneous amendments to the statutes governing emergency management and flood response.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. H 472, an act relating to professions and occupations regulated by the Office of Professional Regulation. It passed the House of Representatives on March 25th, 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 472, An act relating to professions and occupations regulated by the Office of Professional Regulation.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it's referred to the Committee on Government Operations. H479, an act related to housing, passed the House on March 26, 2025. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H479, an act relating to housing.
Having heard the first reading, it is referred to the Committee on Economic Development. H488, an act related to fiscal year 2026 transportation program and miscellaneous changes to laws related to transportation, passing the House of Representatives March 26, 2025. Listen to the first reading of the bill.
H488, an act relating to the fiscal year 2026 transportation program and miscellaneous changes to laws related to transportation.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Transportation. There are no orders of the day today. Senator from Chittenden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pending announcements, I would move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 2nd.
Are there any announcements? Senator from Windsor.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs will meet at 10 o'clock in our committee room. Thank you.
Senator from Wyndham.
Senate Judiciary will meet at 10:30.
Senator from Chittenden.
Senate Health and Welfare will meet at 10 o'clock.
Senator from Washington.
Senate Natural Resources and Energy will meet at 10 o'clock.
Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Agriculture will meet at 10 o'clock.
Are there any further announcements? Senator from Chittenden.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is very far from an April Fool's joke. I just thought it was a really good time to announce some good news about a process that many have been following. And on behalf of the Senator from Chittenden Central, Senator Gulick, and the Senator from Windsor, Senator Major, and myself, we have raised well above our goal to install a portrait of Luvenia Dorsey Bright in the State House. She was the first Black woman and the first woman of color to serve in the state legislature. She was elected in 1988 from South Burlington. And I just want to celebrate that Vermonters from all walks of life donated over $50,000 for us to be able to put out an RFQ and get the process started for commissioning this portrait. That included donations from Northfield Savings Bank, Ben & Jerry's, and just a lot of Vermont entities and citizens. And so I just think that's really heartening for a lot of people right now in feeling seen and reflected in the State House. And I hope people will follow along with this process and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, the Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that we stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we've adjourned till 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025.